Here we go. I've gone ahead and I sliced one side out, mostly with the X-Acto knife, and then I did the other. I started it with the X-Acto knife, did a little bit with the pen snips, and then finished it with the X-Acto knife. If you did it well, and again, if you had a nice sharp X-Acto knife, it would only take about a minute or two to do this procedure. And total, it took me maybe 5, so that's still pretty successful as far as I'm concerned. You have these nice football-shaped holes now. So the only other thing we need to do right now is flatten the ends. So let's go ahead and do that. That'll just take a minute. There we go. Place it over the side. Make sure the holes are on the sides and flatten away. Put all my weight on it right now, though that's not essential. You could leave this somewhat puffed. You could leave it almost completely round. That's really up to you. For this sword, however, I want it mostly flat, since that's going to give us the most ability to shape it in the form of an eagle. In this case, we want an upturned eagle wing, the up being towards the head, which is going to be the pommel. Right here, down near the pommel. So, really when you hold it, the wings are facing your hand. When it's in the scabbard, the wings are facing upward. So if that feels weird, that's okay. I actually did another sword, the one that you saw in the intro to this build along. That one I built the other way, because I found it more pleasing. You do whatever you like. Again, this is not something where you have to slavishly copy the original. If you find something more aesthetic, do it. For example, if you prefer a curved blade, you don't have to make a straight blade. A lot of the Kilic, the Turkish and Shamshir swords are well curved. You'll find a lot of them like that. So it's completely traditional to do that. Maybe even more so than to do it like this. Although there are examples of straight swords. This is just a copy from the movie, or from the video game, I'm sorry, but you can do whatever you like. I happen to like this quite a lot. Okay, so it's mostly flat. Let's take a look at it. Looks good. Just another second under here. And also, I want to see... No, alright. It's pretty firm, that's good. Run it under the sink, run it under the water. And do the same thing to the other side. Heats up quickly, so it only takes a second. Alright, ready for shaping in just a second. That'll do. Here we go then. Flattening it, and if you like, you can even add a slight curvature. Just make sure you do it in the same direction for both. Yep, this is looking great. The final part is just to reheat the center section, and we can do that after we've shaped the wings. Or before, really, whatever you like. But I would do it after I shape the wings. And I'm going to go ahead and shove this on top of the grip. One thing you can do is you can force it on top of the grip right now, or heat it and do it, and then you can shape the wings. Sometimes you might find that if you're not careful how you heat it, you might cause the wings to puff or lose their shape while you're performing the heating operation in the center section. That's easy, so that's one way you could do it. Get the shape up now, then go ahead and cut them, and then just slide it on. Yep. So it's hot, so flipping it really helps. It really helps it cool off a lot faster. Because again, the wood just soaks up the heat, but once it absorbs all that heat, it has nowhere to go, and it'll help insulate it, keep it warm. Flip it over, use a new section, and it's looking great. We're basically finished here, and then we'll be moving on. I'll come back with a finished grip section. I'll show you the cuts here, although I won't cut them on camera, because again, it's just cutting along the line. That's pretty much it. This is a really easy sword to make, and this was one of the first swords and PVC weapons that I made. I've enjoyed it so much. Okay, it's still soft. Not very, but soft enough. Okay, we're going to put that under some water. Fantastic. So now we've got that done. We can go ahead and use our markers, which is right here, and we can mark the wings of the eagle. It's just going to be from the tips on one side. See how it's slightly curved up here in this? From the corner, we're just going to draw down. Like so. Sharpie doesn't like writing on the wet, but that's okay. Same thing over here. It comes down to about there. Let's see if I can get them a little bit more similar. There you go. So you see how they look like wings? Cool, no coincidence. That's what we're making, and that's what it'll look like. That'll fit on top of the blade, just like so. Look very slick. I'm going to go out now, and I'm going to cut them, and I'm going to sand and prepare this piece, the grip piece. Then we'll fit it all together, and I'll cut the tip. We'll be able to assemble a completed finished weapon that we can then go ahead and decorate. Welcome back, YouTube. Here are my nicely shaped pieces. You see the slight ruddy color there is due to the steel wool. Some of the rust rubs off. But I filed it down, sandpapered it, then some steel wool on top. So it's very smooth. It's not perfect, but it's very smooth. It feels nice. And I did the same thing with the wing piece here. That will go like that. I prefer it like that because I think it looks cooler. It looks like, well, there's a wing in your hands rather than only when it's in your scabbard. So, nevertheless, this one I will be striving for accuracy. So let's go ahead and heat it and slide it onto the pipe. Okay, we're getting close. You don't want to overdo it, otherwise the heat will bleed over. It's not ready, but I'm going to use another little trick. Take some water, rub it on the areas you don't want to puff up. That'll cool them down right now, and then any water that's remaining on them will evaporate and keep it cool. Not perfect, but it's a solution to a problem, and the problem is heating the wrong areas. You could also construct a minor heat shield out of some aluminum foil. In this case, I'm not going to, because I think we'll be okay without it. Yeah, looks good. Let's see if we can force it on now. There it is. Right up to the mark. And let's get it lined up. So we want it to be nice in alignment with the blade. That looks fantastic. Cool. So there we go. I'm going to go ahead and cool it under the sink now. And while we're doing other work like sliding the handguard on here, I'm going to go ahead and heat the hot glue gun. With the hot glue gun going in the background, we'll be able to, as soon as we're done with all this, glue it all into place when we're happy with it. Another trick, my hot glue gun takes a little while to get hot, so I found if I take the heat gun and I blast the metal part with heat for just a second, it melts the hot glue in there, and that gets things rolling, gets things started. That way you don't spend as much time preheating, you can get straight to using. So now I'm going to need some gloves for this, or at the very least, a towel so I can grab it to slide it on. I do have some pads. My gloves are outside. I'm not going to go wrestling around for them. But I have some nice rubber-bottomed heat pads that we can use. So right now, let's go ahead and heat the grip. Yep, that is pretty hot. So now let's give it a shot. Go ahead and grab it here. Try and force it on. Oh, look at that. No problem at all. Okay. Spoke too soon. That's about right. I want it a touch higher, just a touch. Now really, I could probably stop and I probably won't even need to hot glue it on. You could also use a larger or smaller section. But ultimately, I want a rounded sort of hand grip. I find that more appealing. If you want, you can have it all the way to the top and then it'll be wide and taper. That's traditional. So we can try that. We can push it up a little bit farther. Or not. Well, there you go. See, like I said, it doesn't really need hot glue. Oh, look at that little, there's a little point here. A little bit of PVC that didn't come off. We'll have to see if we can file that off or snip it just so that nobody gets a cut. And here I thought I was doing so well. But that shows another point. When you've made cuts and you have to force it over something, little nicks and cut portions are going to expand. Everything stretches. So while it was all together, you didn't see that. But now that it had been forced over here, it was very obvious. There is the basic shape of our blade. I'm going to show you how I do the pommel cap next. And I'm also, in the meanwhile, going to go out and trim the tip of the blade into its characteristic point. So here's our finished basic shaped bow with everything on it, and I've gone ahead and I've ground down the tip. Later on I'll go and I'll pinch it a little bit to get it a little tighter, but for now it looks great. All I'm going to do now is show you how to make the eagle head. That's simple. Start off here with your heat gun and heat the end. You want to heat about a solid inch of it, okay? And you want to heat it pretty well. Soft enough. So now I have this Irwin quick grip. I'm going to go ahead and pinch just the end. So you see there, pinch it like so. A little bit more. And then I'm going to fold it. Just like that. You see? Pinched and folded. Pinched and folded. Simple, simple, simple. Make sure it's aligned with the cross guard and the blade. But that's really all there is to it. And then just wait for it to cool. I mean, if you have a way that you could hang it or something like that in this position, that would be great. And then you could just walk away, come back in a few minutes, and it would be all set. But this is the whole basic idea of the shaping of the eagle head. Very simple. Because once this is done, it may not look very much like an eagle head. Let me change the clamp. But you'll see how it'll start to form. There we go. That's really how much you want it. I'm going to run this under cold water to speed the process. And that the bottom line is it. All you're going to do now is you're going to take a marker, so let's get that. And we're going to draw the head out. So here's the crest of the head, the crown. Something like that. Really, it's just an arc that you're shaping and cutting. Eyes here. Beak. Nostrils. So there you go. I mean, that's really all there is to it. We're going to cut that out and then glue everything up, and I'll demo and show you the final blade. Thanks for watching this. Welcome back, YouTube, for the final section. Right now, we've finished, essentially. I cut the eagle head. You can put in an adorable little eagle eye there. And everything else has been glued. I applied beads of glue and then with a wet finger, dabbed around it to smooth it out so it feels nice. This feels great in the hand. What a lovely sword. The tip is nicely finished. And now all that remains to be done is to decorate it. I just picked up this, so I was going to test it out and see if it's even worth trying. But what's the worst that'll happen is that I'll have to sand it down and recoat it. I kind of want to mix it with the other silver paint that I had, because I have no confidence that this is going to look good. It looks too shiny. I mean, a sword should be shiny, but not that shiny, perhaps. Something else I wanted to show you was, yeah, since the old X-Acto blades are pretty darn dull, I got some zirconium nitride coated blades that'll fit my X-Acto knife. This should be great. So now we've gone from raw pipe to totally built sword. This is ready for play, and it's really wonderful just how it is. If you want to decorate it, I suppose I'll go ahead and I'm gonna show how I do that later in another video. But for now, there you go. I think you can use your imagination from where to go from here. Thanks for watching, YouTube.